What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CreativRise podcast. This is going to be an exciting freaking episode.
Fun fact, Joey and I are terrible at high fives.
Christy has never given me a good high five.
I don't think Christy knows how to high five.
I have been a very, very fluent high fiver my entire life.
I don't know about that.
We have not been able to do it, but I hope you are wanting to high five us after this episode, because this episode is going to be a freaking heater. We got a lot of content in this. Christy and I were up till like midnight last night writing this and like constructing it and coming up with really the value that we wanted to give you guys today, because there's so much in here. It's dense. We're going to keep it as short as we can, but it's so valuable and we're so excited to deliver it. So getting into today's episode, thanks for being here, by the way. The controlling idea for today is a successful website that puts money in your pocket is way more than a pretty design.
Ooh, much more than a pretty face.
Way more than a pretty face. Way more. So we're going to get into why we think that, why we actually know that. It's not just a think thing. It's why we know that to be true. Yeah. And then we're going to talk about like the 3 biggest website mistakes that people in our industry, in the creative industry, photographers, filmmakers, graphic designers, social media managers, agencies, copywriters, influencers, whatever it's going to be. The 3 biggest mistakes that we see people make with their websites, and it's costing you a ton of money probably.
Yes.
And we want to help you reverse that. So the story question for today is like, that we want you to be asking the whole time is, what would your business look like if it was, if it had a website that was built properly? What does a proper website even mean? Like, what does building a proper website even mean? We're going to talk about that today. And that's also going to tie into something that we want to give you that is so freaking excited. It's free, and we're not going to talk about it yet because it's like too exciting to start with. We're going to talk about it maybe halfway through the show if we get to it, and then it's definitely we're going to talk about it at the end of the show. But you got to get through the value first, because then it's going to all make sense. So thanks for being here. I've said that twice now. We're just rolling, and we're so really excited today. So let's get into it. What is the problem with people who have websites that are just like pretty designed, but they're not actually built properly?
Exactly. A lot of creative websites, they're beautiful, right? You're a very creative person. They're beautiful, but they lack sales content. They lack actually being a utilitarian site that gets you sales, gets you bookings, gets you inquiries.
They lack doing what a website is designed to do.
Exactly. And so they're pretty, but they're actually not useful. And the thing is that it's actually costing you money, especially if you hired some fancy web designer to come in and make your site absolutely beautiful, but it doesn't convert your clients.
So the problem is, not only does your website cost you money because it's not built properly and people do not want to work with you, it's costing you money. I love how you just said that, because you probably had to pay somebody a lot of money to make it really pretty.
Exactly.
But it might not be built properly.
Yes, exactly. And so there are 3 big problems that we've seen time again.
We see all the time.
We've
done. Oh my gosh. My site has had multiple of these problems until just recently.
I've never hired out for my own website, so I've always built my own website, and I have definitely made these
Totally. We've all made these mistakes. And so we've fixed these mistakes, and we want you to fix them today too. So number 1, the first mistake that people make with their websites, so crystal clearly, is your website looks more like a portfolio than a profit-making machine. So if I just said that and you're like, dang, that's me. Well, it probably is you. If you're sitting there going, that's not me. My website's pretty and it's a profit-making machine. It's also probably you. I said this to Christy the other day. I have rarely seen a creative business website that's actually built properly. And again, we're throwing ourselves in that pot because we only recently changed these things, and it's done wonders for what we're trying to do with our businesses. And we want you guys to do that too. So again, the first problem is that your website looks more like a portfolio than a profit-making machine. We've all made and seen, and done these websites that look more like galleries or just like a, consistent blog update, right? You click on it and it's a bunch of images, and you sit there and the person who's on it's like, oh, great. Or it's a bunch of videos. It's like, oh, great. But they're like, but why am I here?
Yeah.
Why am I here, right? Mm-hmm. So here's the issue with that style. It does not sell well. Your photos, your work, we've said this 1,000 freaking times on this podcast. Your work does not speak for you. You have to speak for your work. Yeah. You're fighting to get people to buy your work. Your work doesn't speak for itself.
Well,
how you speak about how your work can help somebody is what speaks for itself. And so if you show up on somebody's website and all their website is just a bunch of work, It says nothing.
And chances are there's somebody down the street who has very similar work than you do.
Oh my gosh.
Like
or better work than you do.
You are special. You are unique. But your work is probably very similar to somebody on the other side of the world that they could hire for cheaper.
Totally. So the problem with this is it doesn't sell. Here's why it doesn't sell. In no way does a website that looks more like a portfolio than, how it's actually designed to be. In no way does it tell the story of who your ideal client is, what problems they face, and how you actually solve them. Right?
Yep.
That is the only thing that's going to help somebody go, oh, I actually want to do business with this person. Oh, I actually want to continue to do business with this person because I know they know who I am. They see what problems I, face day in and day out, and they have a solution for me.
Yeah.
If I just click on someone's site and it's just a bunch of photos or videos, I'm going to look at it and be like, great. Oh, sure, they could be really talented, but I don't know two things. I don't know, what they do for me, and I don't know how to get involved with them. So that's a massive, massive issue. Now, before you, argue and say, well, that doesn't happen to me and my business still makes money and that's what my site looks like. That's great. But the question again is what could be possible if your website was built properly, right? So building a site that only looks like a portfolio leaves a site visitor no option but to consider you as an option, right? Yeah. When you click on someone's website and it just looks like a portfolio, you go, okay, that could be an option. But that's not what you want. You don't want to just be an option. You want someone to land on your site and go, dang, 100% I'm doing business with this person. I want to message them. I want them to shoot my wedding. I want them to shoot for my brand. I want them to influence with our products. I want them to design our whatever. If all your website is just a portfolio, they showed up to have a problem solved, and you are not telling them and showing them how you have, lingo and words and strategy to help solve and show them how you can solve that problem. That's a huge issue.
Definitely. Yeah. And number 2, okay, so the first one was your website looks more like a portfolio than a profit-making machine. And number 2, and this one just gets me, I don't know why, but it does, is that your website is all about you and not your customer. This is a problem.
Huge
your website
problem.
is all about you, all about your story, all about your feelings, about how you love to be creative, all about your dreams for what your business
how you
can
take
do
your
for
freaking
you.
pumpkin spice lattes. Like, I see that all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. And if it's all about
Hi,
you,
I'm blank, and I like getting on planes and drinking this Starbucks drink. It's like, that's great.
That's great.
How do you solve my problem?
Exactly.
Right?
So this is the problem, is that it's all about you and it's not about your clients. Honestly, like 95% of creatives can't tell their customer's story better than they can tell their own story, which is a big problem.
It's a huge problem.
And their website reflects it, because every time you click on a website, it's all about them, which, hey, your story is great, but your customer's more interested in their story than they are your story.
Totally.
So this is very similar. Imagine if you just went on a date with somebody and all they did was talk about themselves the entire time.
Have you ever been on a date like that?
I'm trying to think if I have.
I have.
I have. I won't out anyone on this podcast. But you know
Expose
what?
them.
There was not a second date. And maybe that is what is going to happen with your client. Is if
you go on a date with somebody, they only talk about themselves, like, hey, this is what I do, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I did. You're going to sit there and be like, when can I freaking leave?
And it's much easier to leave a website page
than
it is a date. So someone is...
And dates are pretty dang easy to leave, I would assume. Again, I haven't been in that situation. But websites are so easy to go up and just click the X or the back button and be like, I'm not here for any good reason, because all they want to do is talk about themselves. I'm here for me, and they're obviously showing up on this website talking about themselves. So
and I actually did a poll. I actually did a poll on my Instagram about what is the purpose of your website. Is it about your work and you, or is it about your customer? And it was actually split 50-50 on what people thought. And so that's interesting to me, because you might be thinking, no, they're coming to my website because they're interested in me.
Totally.
No, they're not coming to your website because they're interested in you. They're coming to your website of how you can help them.
They're interested in, how can this person solve my problem? So you might be sitting here going, but Joey, I'm a personal brand. My website's about me. And for a lot of people, that's the reality. For me, that was my reality. For you, that was your reality. Your website's still your name. My website is still my name. One of our websites is still my name, And so thinking, the business is in my name and I run a very personalized experience for my clients, therefore I talk about myself on my website, That's great. I want them to get to know me. Sure, but it's costing you money. Guaranteed, continuing to talk about yourself is costing you money, because the reality is, again, like Christy said, the potential client does not care about you. They care about what you can do for them, how you can make their story better, how you can make their life better.
Yeah.
So important. So if your website's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo about you, your work, it's costing you money, plain and simple.
Yeah.
What's the third mistake people do?
Last problem is that your website does not have a cash register.
Oof.
Okay, that your website doesn't have a cash register. This is one of the things people struggle with the most, is asking for the sale. Just simply asking for the sale.
This is, I heard somebody make a joke about how they would be the greatest website auditor in the world, because they could go to 95% of websites and be like, hey, if I make your website sell, I think it was Donald Miller, he was like, if I make your website sell, 4 times more in the next 30 days, you're going to give me 5% of your company. He's like, I bet you so many people would do that. And he's like, all I would do is add a buy now button, because he's like, so many people don't have them. The reality is, if you do not have a buy now button, here's what that looks like. If you do not have buy now buttons, schedule a call, get in touch, book me, book a brand strategy session, book your free brand strategy session, schedule a social media audit, whatever it's going to be. If you do not have buttons all over the freaking website, everywhere, specifically in a couple key places that we're gonna talk about later, and we want to give to you for free. But if you do not have that, here's what it's like. Imagine you are like, I'm floating through life. I want to go shopping. So you walk. I want to go get up. Here's a great example. Welcome to fall, baby. You're going to get a pumpkin spice latte. I just changed the story because you said it. Let's see if this even works. You go to get a pumpkin spice latte. You walk in, and this is like a mega Starbucks. You've never seen one like this before. It's not just like, actually, this is the normal Starbucks. We're just going to make this as simple as possible. You walk into freaking Starbucks to get your pumpkin spice latte, and you walk in there, and somebody says, hi, how are you? And you're like, great. I'm about to be better. I'm about to get a pumpkin spice latte. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love fall too. And you're like, great. I think most people love fall. So you keep walking, and you walk up to the little Starbucks barista, I don't even know what you call that, where you got to order, and there's no one there.
Yep.
And you kind of sit there for a second, and you're looking around. You're like, okay, I can see that there's, pumpkin spice stuff. It's advertised.
It's beautiful.
That there's pumpkin spice stuff. There's beauty to this coffee shop, but you're like, how do I order? There's nobody there that's ready to check me out. And all of a sudden, the person that said they love fall earlier when you first walk into the store, the person's standing in the corner of the Starbucks and goes, psst, psst, hey. And you're like,
love when people whisper.
You're like, hey, it's the fall person again. Hey, fall person. And the fall person looks at you and says, hey, so we actually don't want to be pushy. So if you just go to the bathroom, and then there's a little trap door you can walk through, and it's going to take you outside, walk around the building, and then you'll find somebody, you'll see them. They've got a little bit of a sign. They don't want to be pushy, but if you see that sign, you go into the next bathroom you find, and then there's a cash register and a little, checkout booth where you can select what you want to order, and then we'll make your drink.
And then we'll follow up with you 3 days later. And
that would be so freaking weird. So weird. Here's the reality, though. This is what we do on creative businesses' websites every day. You don't tell somebody how to check out. You have no way. You make it hard for somebody to want to do business with you. You make it hard for somebody to book a strategy call with you, book a session with you, book an engagement shoot, book you for a wedding, book a social media audit if you're a social media manager. You have to realize that one of the biggest problems is that your business, your website, probably does not have a cash register. Or if it does, it might not be in the right place.
Yeah.
And it might not have enough of them.
And what's so interesting is that studies show that if you have a call to action in more than 2 places on your website, you are 4 times more likely to make the sale, or 4 times more sales than someone who just has one call to action. Yeah. One call to action, which is crazy. That's crazy. My opinion. Crazy.
Imagine you could 4x. If you're making $50,000, imagine you could make $200,000 a year by simply adding 3 more buttons on your website that were really good calls to action.
Everyone's just rushing and signing in their Squarespace, just adding buttons.
Seriously,
everywhere.
that's crazy, but that's what the studies show.
That's true.
It's nuts.
And so, you guys, why do we struggle with these 3 things more than anything with our website? I think it's because people are, one, afraid to tackle their website. Yeah. Either they have hired someone and they don't want to have to reach out to them to redesign, or they don't want to sign in and do it themselves and they just feel overwhelmed. But also, I think it is because that they do not know a framework that they can implement that actually
sells. It's 100% because of that. It's 100% because they don't know what should be on a website. So hiring someone to design your website, that can be a great thing. We've got people in the CreativRise community, people who've been through our mastermind, who are brilliant website designers. They do beautiful stuff. And there's absolutely a place for that. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have some control, at least some control of your website, if you hired out your website and you can't even edit something, like you're in a huge problem. So you've got to get control of your website. You've got to learn the framework we want to teach you on how to build a really, really great website that sells, puts more money in your pocket, and you got to start implementing it. So if you don't do this, you're going to risk a couple things. Potential clients will continue to pass you over. Potential clients will continue to price check you because you're just another option or portfolio or self-obsessed creative. Your income and client relationships suffer because of it, obviously. And mostly, you miss out on the opportunities that a great website can potentially bring you. Yeah. Which you do not want to miss out on that.
Totally. So we asked you guys, we were like, are you interested in this type of information? Mm-hmm. And we just got an overwhelming amount of people who wanted to better their websites. And so
it was actually so big, I was mind blown. We were getting 50% of our followers on Instagram were seeing our stories. Yeah. So our story views were 50% of our following, which is nuts. Like the industry standard for like Instagram these days is like generally 10%. If 10% of your audience watches your stories, that's great. Mm-hmm. And that's not because they don't want to watch your stories, just because of the algorithms and stuff. But we were getting insane engagement on this because so many people were like, oh my gosh, please. Yeah. I need help with my website. I need help.
So we want to take the guesswork out of this framework for you. So we are going to give you the first part of this framework, but then we're going to release the rest of it in a way that we're going to tell you about pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can talk about it right now.
Let's do it.
We might as well talk about it right now. So a framework, like Christy said, that you can understand, that really gets to the heart of what you should be doing is invaluable for your business. Because a website, like people are like, oh, do websites even matter anymore? Websites absolutely matter. Yeah. Websites are still to this day the final piece of trust before somebody's going to buy anything you do.
Definitely.
Everyone goes to a site to validate or to learn or to, figure out what it looks like to invest in you. So if you do not have that you're in a little bit of a sticky situation. So we want to give you this framework, and we want you to ask, what's possible with this framework. But here's what we're going to do. Christy just talked about this. She just said, we asked a bunch of questions on Instagram, and the results were staggering with how many of you guys asked for support on how to build a really great website that sells. So Christy and I sat down with some of the people on the CreativRise team and said, hey, what can we do to give people as much value about this website thing as possible? And we were like, why don't we actually write a full course and then give it away to people for free? And we've never done this before. We've never given a course away for free. No. And to be honest, we'll probably, this is costing us a lot of money to do this because it's costing us money, in all of our time to write it and develop it, film it. It's costing us money in our team to make things happen, and to build it out. And then we're giving it to you for free. So we're actually we want to advertise this too because we believe so much in it. So it's going to cost us a ton of money to make this thing happen, but we so believe in the content that we're going to put out. It's basically, this is what it's going to be. I'm going to drop it right now. We were going to wait till the end, but I'm going to drop it right now. It's going to be called From Portfolio to Profit-Making Machine, 7 Steps to Any Great Website That Puts Money in Your Pocket. Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to name it. That's the tagline for the course. And what's fun about this is we're actually going to give the course away for free, as I mentioned. And we're going to teach you how to do that in a second, teach you how to get it. But we're only giving it to you for 3 days.
3 days only.
3 days only. So on September 16th, we are going to give anyone who wants it access to the course. You literally just have to opt in to get the course, and we're going to email it to you right away. It's automated. You automatically get the course. What's cool then is you're going to then get a link to, go to creativerise.com, make an account so you can actually subscribe to our free, well, it's not free for anybody else, but you're going to get access to create a free account on our online education tool platform. And then you can log into that and you will just, boom, you'll see the course there. And you're going to get to go through each of the 7 steps. And what's really cool about this course is not only is the content in the course phenomenal, and we're going to get to step 1 of what's in the course today. We're going to talk about one of the sections. But not only is the course phenomenal, Christy has done an amazing job like visually bringing it to life. She's made amazing examples of what most people's websites look like and then how to change it and make it look phenomenal. So there's some really cool factors of this. You've also made like a downloadable PDF that has great questions that helps you go through each of the 7 steps, each of the 7 pieces you need on your website. And you can framework it all for yourself so that when it comes time to build it, or when it comes time to, if you work with a web designer, when it comes time to send that to your design team so they can actually implement it and put it live for the click publish, it's all dialed and it's really, really good. So if you can't tell, we're so excited about this. Again, we've never done this before. We've never done something like this big and something that's going to cost us thousands of dollars to build and make and then get out to people. We've never done this and given it away for free. So
we just love you guys.
We urge you guys to get into this. We literally sat looking at the results from the polls we put out the other day, and we're like, we have to do something. There's so many people that need support on this. So whether you're just new or whether you're cranking it already, I guarantee you this is going to help you absolutely just better your business by bettering your site, changing it from portfolio to a profit-making machine. So I'm really excited about this. I just leaked basically the whole thing. But what I did also say is that we are going to give you one of the first pieces. We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive on piece number 1 of any good money profit generating website today, right now. And then we're going to give you access to go get the rest of it. Yeah. So that's really exciting.
So the piece number 1, the first step of the framework that we are releasing to you right now is that you must make the first section of your website a hook. Yeah. Okay. Make it a hook. Now, what is a hook and why do you need one? A hook is something to capture the attention of the viewer. Facts show that 55% of viewers leave a website after 15 seconds.
It's like that's crazy. The 15-second rule.
15-second rule. So they'll click off. If they are not immediately piqued their curiosity, they are gone. Yeah. They are gone.
So what is a hook? Because we talked, you need a hook. You're probably sitting here going, I don't even know what a hook is, or I think I might know what a hook is. Here's the reality. A hook is a 2-piece. We believe it's a 2-piece. In the framework we've built, it's a 2-piece statement that drills deep into the reason of why the viewer even came to your website in the first place. Now, why do you want to do that? You want to immediately meet the viewer with that information, that content, so they can sit there and go, oh, dang, this person has now piqued my curiosity, and it subconsciously will tell the viewer that they are in the right place, that they're safe there, they're going to get their problem solved there, and that they should stay. Yeah. Having a 2-part hook is the only thing that's going to help you beat that 15-second rule, where people scan a website for 15 seconds. If they don't see, something that hooks them, they're gone. So here's what a hook is, made out of. We got a couple examples. We said it's 2 pieces. It's a statement that drills deep into the reason why the viewer came to your site in the first place. You give the first example, actually, because it's more applicable.
We'll use the first example for a wedding photographer. Yeah. So your hook, your main statement, can be something like wedding photos that'll keep you crying after 50 years.
Yeah. Wedding photos you'll still be crying after, 50 years. And then the sub hook, so it's like a sentence just below it, could be wedding photography for sentimental hearts.
Joey wrote that one. I think it's so good.
Do you think it's good?
He's
Thank you.
Soft.
I am very soft. I am
Maybe
very soft.
Maybe it's because you balled after our wedding video. So
I bawled. Oh my gosh. Okay, but here's how this looks. If you're saying, okay, I get that. I get it's a statement. It's a statement that evokes emotion in people. In this scenario, it's evoking emotion in people because it's hooking them to think about a futuristic state of the world that they want to be in. They want to experience one day. They want to still be excited about their wedding photos in 50 years, right? Like, of course you'd want that. So where does the hook actually go? Well, on the top of your website, the first section is called the header. You want to make sure that the header is super clean cut and it's basically just like bolded through the header, the hook. So as soon as somebody lands, people can just automatically read that first simple line of text and they're like, okay, I know exactly where I should be. I can continue looking down this website and, checking some things out. So again, wedding photos that you'll still be crying over after 50 years. Then the sub hook, which is the second part, it's slightly smaller. Normally it's like a smaller font, smaller text. Right underneath the main hook is wedding photography for sentimental hearts. Now, why did we have the subhook? What does a subhook do? Well, a subhook takes the emotion you just piqued in the first part of the hook, and then it ties it and it grounds it by going, here's what we do for you, right? So it's like, it's almost like, here's what you're going to receive, and here's what we do for you.
Yeah.
So you have to have the two pieces of this hook here. If you only have the first piece of the hook, people might be still a little bit confused on what you do. If you only have the second thing, you won't hook people because it's just saying what you do. It's talking about, about the simple service. So here's an example for a brand photographer. The hook could be content that does selling for you, right? So when a brand clicks on a website and the brand photographer is like content that sells for you. And then the sub hook can be content development for brands that want to grow fast. So this is a great hooky statement. If I was a brand, a swimwear brand. Say I had a men's swimwear brand and I click on some photographer and I'm like, oh, he looks like he's in a cool location. We want to send him some product. We want to pay him to do some stuff for us. If I clicked on his account or I clicked on his website and it was just like, I've been taking photos for 4 years. Meet me. I'd be like,
meet me.
No, he's not an option.
Yeah.
If I've had another person that was like content that sells for you, I'd be like, yeah, that's what I want. And then if I saw the sub hook that was just like, oh, very simply, content development for brands that want to grow fast. Yep, that's me. I want to grow fast. That's what I want my brand to do. It hooked me. It hooked me. I would continue to scroll. And most importantly, I'd probably actually look for like a call to action button. Like I would look for book now, or book a call, or get in touch. Because all you need is a good hook and people can go automatically to wanting to get in touch with you. The last one, I kind of took this off my own site. So you can't steal this. But I actually have it on it's a little bit of a custom coded like rotating thing. But it says my hook with my agency is take the blank struggle out of growing your business. And when I say blank, there's a rotating arm of take the marketing, take the brand, take the content. We've got this like rotating thing that like writes text and stuff. But so the key is it really would read like this. If we say, let's pick marketing, take the marketing struggle out of growing your business. That's a great hook. Anybody who's coming to my website who wants to grow their business would look at that and go, yeah, that's probably what I want to do. I am here because I want to take the marketing struggle out of growing my business. Subhook, marketing solutions for brands that deserve to be seen. Great. Very clear with what we do. In less than 5 seconds, you can read that whole thing and you can go, okay, marketing solutions for brands that deserve to be seen. I know what they're going to do for me. They're going to take the marketing struggle out of growing my business, and I know how they do it. Marketing solutions for brands that deserve to be seen. I know how they do it and who it's for.
Yeah.
How they do it is marketing solutions, and who it's for, brands that deserve to be seen. Those are three great examples of great hooks. If your website does not have a hook, you're missing out.
And you might be thinking, I'm not Joey Spears. I cannot write these really interesting, short, grabby hooks. Like my brain just doesn't work that way. I'm not a writer. I don't know how to do that, and nothing is coming to me, and it all just feels lame.
You got to think on it, but we're going to give you something to think on.
We're going to give you a few questions that you can just jot down right now. Grab a piece of paper, jot down these questions so you can start brainstorming what a hook could be. You don't need to be a crazy good writer. You just need to be clear. So here are some questions you can ask yourself to start brainstorming a great hook for your business. So number one, okay, your service.
I'm going to put these questions in the show notes too.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Okay. So one, your service solves a problem or meets a need. That is just the truth of it.
It has to. If it doesn't, you're not in business.
Exactly. But you might be confused on what that problem or need is. So ask yourself, what are the problems that I solve? Or what are the needs that I meet for my client? And just write down all of that. Just think through that. What does your service do for somebody? What's the outcome of that? Write all those down. Or write down all the problems and the needs. Then number two, ask yourself how the client feels to have that problem, or what it feels like to no longer have that problem. So what is it emotionally, the negative emotional feelings that they experience?
What are the philosophical negative things that they're like, I deal with this problem every day, so I feel like this.
Right.
What does it look like for that person's life or that business when that problem gets evaporated?
Yes.
It's gone. That's a huge, huge place to find a good hook.
Every problem is also connected to an emotion. So figuring out what that emotion is, and when you can really hook someone emotionally, that's when they're willing to spend more money on you
Absolutely.
because they've connected to you emotionally.
Absolutely.
So, and then the last question that you can ask is, what's an internal desire your client has that your service or product can give them? So what's the internal desire? What state do they want to be at? What do they want for their lives? What do they want for their business, or what do they want for their wedding? Like, what is that internal deep desire that they want that you can give them that outcome? So brainstorm all of these different things, write down as much as you can just on a blank piece of paper, and start putting together some hooks. Start creating some great sub hooks.
Clear is better than clever.
Every single time, clear is better
every single time.
Clever. So stay away from super insider language. Imagine if someone who kind of knows nothing about your industry is hopping on your page. Don't say things that only people in your industry know about. Keep it really concise, short, not really flowery. Tons of adjectives tend to kind of distract people and get them confused. So just be clear, not clever.
So how do we brainstorm a sub hook? That's a great couple of questions to ask yourself, to actually land on a good hook.
Yeah.
How do we then come up with a sub hook? Well, the sub hook is the really easy part. All you got to do is ask yourself, what do you do and how can you make it incredibly simple? What do you do and how you can, make it incredibly simple? So here is the hook section checklist. Yeah. Your hook the header of your website, the first 5 seconds, if somebody goes on your website, they must be able to look at your hook and say it checks all of these boxes. Yeah.
First one is it must be about your client's story, not yours.
Absolutely.
So it's got to be about the client, not you.
I was going to say, if I go back to any of the examples, wedding photographer, wedding photos, you'll still be crying after 50 years about. Content that does the selling for you, take the marketing struggle out of your business. It's all of those hooks are about.
Notice how it doesn't mention your pumpkin spice latte. Notice how it doesn't talk about you.
We got to drop
always
that.
About
we got to drop the pumpkin spice thing.
I love it. Number 2, it's got to pique the curiosity of the viewer by showing them a glimpse of how you will make their lives better. So you solve problems, you meet needs. That is what you do. You don't just offer services, you offer solutions. So you got to pique the curiosity of the viewer by showing them a glimpse of how you will make their lives better. And then the last one is it must be a short and concise subhook statement so the viewer knows exactly what you can do to help them and how you help them.
Yeah. So you're probably sitting here going, man, this is good. This is really, really good stuff. I can't wait to sit down at my computer or call my designer or whatever it's going to be. And I can't wait to actually develop a hook and get it on there and start seeing how it betters my business. Well,
I hope so.
You can't just be excited about that because like we said, this is piece 1 and we go into it more depth because we've got really good examples of this. This is piece 1 of the 7 pieces to any successful website that's going to put money in your pocket. We have 7 pieces of this, 6 more pieces than we just mentioned that we want to give to you for free. So exciting. September 16th, all you have to do is make sure that you're watching and you're getting on the list to register to actually get the course. So this is going to be a game changer, not only because how the content, is incredible. It's exactly what you guys have asked for. Again, we're making this it's costing us thousands of dollars to make this and develop it. The production value is going to be awesome. It's costing us money. We're making it because you guys asked for it. And so we're really excited to give it to you. We filmed it in such a consumable way. Yeah. And the best part is Christy has dialed in ways to help you not only consume it, but also implement it with that really awesome PDF that's going to help you ask the right questions so you can, implement the right things. And so, again, we're calling this the Portfolio to Profit course. You only have access for 3 days. So how the heck do we actually get this stuff in your hands? You're probably sitting here going, I want this. You haven't yet told me how to get it. Well, it's going to be very easy. All you have to do is go to creativerise.com/portfolio to profit. And going to that page is simply trust me, we talked about websites today. It's going to be so clear on how you can get it. All you're going to have to do is just put in your email so we know where to send you the course. And you might be thinking like, okay, how do I make sure I see it? You have to make sure you find the email we send you because it's a course. You have to then log in, create an actual account on our platform, our online education platform, so you can then receive the course. So this is something that you're going to get, for 3 days. You've got to binge it so you get through it in the 3 days, which is going to be totally easy because it's not crazy long. It's just really dense and valuable. And then you got to implement it right away. And you got to implement it, you got to implement it, you got to implement it. So mark your calendars, block off time. Christy, when is this happening? We've mentioned it already, but we're going to mention it again.
It opens up September 16th and it goes till September 18th.
That's when you get the course.
So that's when you get the course.
Starting right now, you can go to CreativeRise.com/portfolio to profit, or you can just go to our Instagram, click on the link in the bio, and you're going to see that link that you can click on, or go to the show notes on this podcast, and you can also see that link. It's so impossible to miss. Yeah. We want you to be there. Again, it's free. We want to give it to you. We're making it for you.
For free.
Yeah.
And again, the course expires on the 18th. So that's why you got to get in there, get the content, and do it with the community as we're all doing it together, which is going to be really fun.
It's only going to take you 5 seconds to sign up to receive the course.
And we also have some fun bonus value as well.
Yeah. This is going to be really fun.
We are going to pick 2 people who have binged the entire Portfolio to Profit course and have implemented what they've learned. So they've taken what they've learned from
fast
the course,
action. I'm doing it.
And they've taken fast action and implemented it into their website. Now, it doesn't need to be perfect, right? Done is better than perfect. So
done is much better than perfect.
Implement it into your website and then text it to us. And here's how you're going to text it to us. You're just going to text
a link to your website, and you're going to tell us what you've changed. Send us screenshots or whatever.
Yeah.
Text us to 916-587-6417. The same number as always. We're going to text you back. And if you send us what you've done on your website after you've gone through the course, in those first 3 days, if it's in the first day, awesome, you crushed it. If it's on the second day, awesome. If it's on the third day, you just squeaked in. We're gonna then pick 2 people to just schedule links, and we are gonna schedule a private website audit with you to go through it, and we're gonna give our eyes and give our attention to that, and make sure that it is so freaking dialed, so that again your website fully transforms from a portfolio style thing to a cranking profit making machine.
It's gonna be awesome.
So we're so excited. And this is an exciting season. Like, not only are we doing this was out of the blue. Add this to our plate. This is already on top of all the stuff that we're doing to launch the mastermind, like literally a couple days after that. Yeah. So the mastermind, the CreativRise mastermind, our 6-week signature program that is, 100 plus people have gone through. It's really the program that we help take people, whether you're starting out, hey, how do we help you get your first 6 figures? Whether you're already doing 6 figures and you want to do multi-6 figures, whether you're doing multi-6 figures and you want to go, hey, how do I freaking actually find the love for what I do again? Because I've built a good business, but I don't enjoy it. Yeah. How do I transition? We help you do all of those things. And the best part is it's not just us. It's a whole community of people. It's so communal, which is what makes this so different. And so on top of all the profit, portfolio to profit course stuff that we want to give you for free, it's a crazy season because we're also trying to serve you guys through getting excited about everyone who's going to enroll in this next round of the CreativRise Mastermind. And if you want to do that, you just got to go to CreativRise.com, and you're going to see the buttons to do that.
Yeah, and if you want early access to that, as well as early pricing for the Mastermind, you want to text waitlist to 916-587-6417.
Or go to CreativRise.com, and you'll see the button to join the waitlist. If you're before September 19th. If you're after September 19th, you have to pay an extra $100 and you don't get early access. So waitlisters really do get a good deal because you get $100 off and you get early access. That means you can apply, and then we'll see your application first, and then we're going to start handing out spots. So this thing will sell out like it does every time. We can't wait to update you next week on how it's going on and who's joining. We're so excited. But anyways, thank you for being here, guys. Again, all you got to do, go to CreativRise.com. We want you to get this course. We urge you to get this course. It's coming next week. You're going to get it. All you got to do is go to CreativRise.com/portfolio to profit, and we'll give it to you for free. So we can't wait. Thanks for being here. Leave us a review. Send us a DM. Thanks for being a part of the community. We love you guys.